put down, and then we're chill, and we just keep doing what we're doing, you know?
Yeah, I always say
Like,
like with cats, it's
she's
about
just
like
back where she was.
yeah, it's about like mutual respect with cats. Like you just have to kind
Mhm.
of study their behavior, see what they like, see what they don't like, and adjust your behavior accordingly. And you'll be great
Mhm.
roommates.
Yeah.
And if you get
Yeah,
mice,
and
they'll
if you
kill the
expect
mice and it's great.
and if you don't expect them to, like, not be a cat, because that's where a lot of the problems come from, is people don't have, like, realistic expectations for what cat behavior is,
Yeah,
and they'll do shitty things like spray water at them when they're, like, scratching stuff.
right.
Like, the cat doesn't understand that, they just get pissed off and hate you.
Exactly. Like we like with our cats, um we have a cat tree and like a lot of different scratcher things. But our tabby cat, Biggie, he just claims them all for himself. And so our tuxedo cat, Ari, he's just like, well, what the fuck? I have nowhere to scratch because it's all yours. And so he has picked, unfortunately, like Rue's desk chair and sometimes my desk chair to scratch. But he doesn't, not the bed, not the couch, not like any more expensive kind of furniture. And so I'm like, you know what? Fine. Like,
And
scratch
there's
the
certain
damn
far
chair.
they will scratch, and there's certain things they won't scratch, you
Hmm.
know? Leather is always more likely to get scratched.
Yeah, and they have this like little mesh on the side that they like.
And
Yeah.
that's the funny thing, it's not leather that they actually go
It's the
after. They
mesh.
prefer it's the mesh. They
Mesh.
And
prefer
sometimes it's
plastic.
because they can hook
Yeah.
their claws into it and pull
Hmm.
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
to quote my partner, cats are basically like autistic 3-year-olds.
Yes.
Did you say
Yes.
partner?
Also
Yeah.
that.
Well, discuss. Divulge.
It's been a busy 2 weeks for me.
It sure fucking has. Like all of us have been through like life, like an entire lifetime in 2 weeks.
I look like I just came from the punk show because I still have like my eyeliner on from last night and my hair is all kind
Hey,
of
that
tucked up.
you honestly for that's still being your face from last night. You're looking great.
I have two parts.
Oh, my!
But
You've been
when
busy.
it rains, it pours.
It's raining men, except I don't
Oh.
know. It's raining partners. Yeah.
Except for me, it's raining non-binary cuties.
Oh well, even better. Beautiful. We love that here.
Yeah. So I ended up be like called like formalizing it, if you would, the
Hmm.
person who I'm staying with here. I'm really happy with that because like we're really clear about what the relationship is and isn't, and it's like really refreshing because we're not doing like that
Communication.
relationship escalator shit, and we just spend time together in a genuine way in stuff that makes sense, and it's nice
That's
to not have
amazing.
like that big fucking pressure on relationship shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you were saying that you moved. So like, where are you at now?
With my partner.
With your partners. Okay, so I was
So
curious. What
I
was?
I moved in with the person who I ended up starting dating like 3 or 4 days later.
Wow.
You want to talk about U-Haul.
So look, it's not a long term agreement. But I might stay here for the year and do like a sublet. So we'll see how it goes because our
Okay.
cohabitating has been really good. Like they made me breakfast this morning. It was really nice, and like I cleaned up and like swept the floors and like did all the dishes, and like it's easier to do certain levels of tasks when there's somebody that you really care about who's like going to also benefit from the care that you put in. It's like a bit of a neurodivergent hack. I find like you can actually do shit a lot easier. So like doing the dishes for me will always be fine. I'll always have enough spoons for that. But doing dishes to help me and a partner, it's just easier, you know? So yeah, I'm staying with them for a little bit
You're still in
and
Toronto?
maybe for a year. Of course. I mean, technically, I'm in New York now.
Oh, okay.
It's just like northern Toronto. Like if you go north enough, they start calling it York, but it's like the same city, kind of like they do with Queens and Brooklyn.
It gets a little bit more suburban-y, a little bit more spread out. Yeah.
You get a different
Philly's like that
postal
Brooklyn
too.
code.
aren't even
It's
cities.
not even
They're
it's not
neighborhoods in
even
a
more
city.
spread out, and it's not even more
Mm.
suburban. To be honest, it's just like the city just stretches, just keep stretching because like it's like a big grid, right? So you get all the really lively streets on the horizontals and a few really vertical lively streets, and then everything in between that's residential. So like, I'm not gonna say it and give away my location in
Right.
Toronto.
Yeah.
It's a lively street just south of me that's like, I don't know, like a 10-15 minute walk.
Hmm.
And that's like the lively street that I used to just live off of. So I only moved like a 22-minute walk away, and now I'm technically in the boundary of York. So like, it's um it's just like a slightly different part of Toronto, more or less, but it's still fucking Toronto, let's be
Hmm.
clear. It still uses the TTC. My bus lines still go right up to like fucking like all the Bloor line stations. So I'm like, I am still in Toronto. I don't know why they bother calling it fucking York, but I guess subdivide your cities how you have to keep it organized, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a city planner. Oh.
Fuck that, man.
That's amazing because I, I
But
was I was worried because we hadn't really talked, and then you were saying you were going through some shit when you were moving, like a whole shenanigans.
oh yeah, I had like a I don't want to get into it too
Yeah,
much, but there
yeah.
was like what feels like a friendship breakup, and like a bunch of people who were going to help me with the move bailed out, and then the person who I ended up having the help with ended up having like a big blow up thing with me that night, and it was like a lot. So
Yeah.
Mm.
it's I feel like I'm living my best punk life right now. Like shit's always gonna happen, right? But like I
Mm,
was at the goth show for my friend's birthday on Friday, and we went to the after party at her place, and like it was just the girlies and the trans folks who were allowed there, not
mm,
like the fucking cis dudes who were trying to party with us and shit. And like that was pretty big gender euphoria, hanging out with like the other hot goth cuties from Toronto and
mm,
just like doing karaoke and eating like Pocky and shit.
mm.
Oh.
Saying, fucking live my life. And I got my nails done,
Oh
bitches.
shit!
Yeah,
Rue also has their nails
check this shit.
black.
No,
Oh, it's
it's
all
I don't know if
pointed.
it's focusing. It's a pentagram on it.
Oh, is it like in white? I think I can kind of see like the
No,
outline.
it's
Yeah.
in glow in the dark.
Ah,
Let me
so
see if
they're
this
like
will
UV
actually make it.
reactive.
Yeah, maybe I can charge it up so you can see it a little better. Hang on. See here. Swipe up to unlock. I had to buy a new phone too because my other phone broke. I feel like you could see it swiping
Now I
more.
see it.
Oh
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Now I
I
see
see
it.
the
Yeah.
outline. It's blurry, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
camera's having a hard time, but yeah, I can see
it's the middle of the day trying to focus on some like obscure slight
it. Yeah,
coloration, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, what's been going on with y'all? I could keep going about shit with me because it's just popping.
We're kind of in a similar boat. We've been on a So it's been like a roller coaster, right? So it's kind of like around the time when you were going through your move and that like bullshit that was going down for you. My grandfather passed a week ago
two
I'm
weeks
yesterday.
sorry.
ago.
Um I've talked about it before on the podcast. He was a drinker and this and that, diabetic. He didn't really take care of himself that well. So, and he was 77. So the fact that he lasted that long is pretty impressive. But it was
Yeah.
kind of one of those things. Like we knew he wasn't gonna last for too many more years or months, or we really didn't know what was going on. But anyway, so he passed, and it was unexpected as death usually goes. So like it's that call at 6 a.m. and it's like, oh shit, I gotta call out of work and get down to the hospital because my dad was flying up, and so it was like a whole production. But um, my family actually worked really well together for this
Mm-hmm.
experience. Like it was just very well organized. No one really lost their tempers. No one lost their
Mm-hmm.
shit. Everyone was okay. This do now. Like this is the next step. So really, all of that fell into place. I was so fortunate. My job gives me 5 days for bereavement, so which is like separate from my
Mm-hmm.
PTO package. So I was able to take 5 days off. So basically, that
Cheers
whole
to that, homie.
yeah. So and like
I got one.
yeah.
Now, thankfully, in my situation, I had already taken that Monday off, emergency mark off on Tuesday. And then I called my boss Tuesday afternoon to inform her that he had passed. And she told me I got 1 day. We didn't even know when the service was going to be, obviously. So I was like, give me the rest of my PTO. I need to stay home. She didn't, thankfully, after I hung up with her, she called my big boss and she said they allowed me to work from home for the whole week um, while Jay was running around. So obviously, our in laws were in town.
And like they stayed
We
with
got
us.
married yesterday and they didn't know. So, well, I was working and he was running around planning a funeral. I was trying to not have a million mental breakdowns. And
Yeah, because our hand fasting was yesterday, and so
that's why my
Nice.
and the only person that I invited from my blood family was my sister and her wife, because I was like, I get along with
Mhm.
my sister. That's fine. It's just the rest of my family. They just don't know how to behave. So
All right. Quick question. Smoke check. What are you smoking, Rue?
gator breath.
Fuck yeah. Continue, Jay.
what's mine? Starfighter.
Yes.
Starfighter.
Mine is tribal live resin.
Nice.
Nice.
We're all just getting high off of concentrates right now.
They're so easy. They're just like
I love
easy
It's so
them.
peasy.
and it's like 2 grams a week that I might smoke instead of 24. I actually ran earlier and I could fucking do it. And I was like, what the fuck? Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
please continue.
So yeah, like, but anyway, so it was I was really happy that my job gave me those 5 days because I was able to take the whole week off. And I was just saying to my dad, I was like, look, make your life easier, make my life easier. I'm just going to be your shadow, and I will just run around with you, and whatever needs to be done, we'll just get it done. And he was like, oh, wow. So, like, the whole process went smooth. You know, we put him in the ground. I was a pallbearer for the first time in my life. That was interesting. I had never done that before. I realized during I guess to kind of, to bring this back into the theme of our actual podcast, I was a little, I guess I expected it, but also disappointed at the same time that, like, when we were at the funeral home and we were picking out, like, the things, like little casket, prayer cards, for service and stuff. I was like, my grandfather was not very religious at all. Like, I say this a lot, like, my family was not religious. Um, so but we were just like looking through the book at like these cards, and I'm like, everything is just default Christian, and it's just so demoralizing, you know. I'm like, what if, like, we had ended up picking something like just these poems that were very like secular, sort of poems, like no mention of God or anything, but it was just a little sad, a little bummed to see that. But and then I had this whole
Yeah,
idea.
Christians really
They're like the
Fucked
really put
standard.
their
everything.
branding all over their fucking the death
Yeah.
industry. They're like, yeah, you died. Time to get fucking religious, man.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you were never religious, really, in your life, like, and she was like, "Oh, you having clergy?" And we're like, "No, no clergy. Like, we don't." Like, I didn't like the clergy that they had at my grandmother's service. My dad opted to do a priest for that. She was, I guess, like, she found a little bit more comfort in religion than, I guess, most of us. We'll go with.
If somebody ever tries to religious or like evangelize my father's funeral, I'm gonna go throw hands because that man's not religious.
Oh,
And
he's
you do
not.
not. No, and I appreciate that about him because when I was younger and my mom wanted to take us all to church, he was like, "You can do whatever you want, and
Mm.
you can teach the kids your religion. You're not making me go to that fucking church." I respect him for that.
um. But yeah, but like service wise went fine. We did our 21 beer salute to him.
Mhm.
We all just had a beer at the gravesite, and
I thought y'all had 21 beers each, and I was like,
well,
"Oof, that's
we
a
bought
celebration."
yeah. Well, we bought a case of 36, I think it was. um Rick, my friend Rick, was funny though. Like, some people drank the beer, some people just kind of left it or whatever.
Pour it out.
Yeah, poured out. And Rick, he was like pocketing them. I was like, "Oh, here, have this beer." He was like, "I've already had
In the
3."
true spirit of your grandfather.
Yeah, he's like, "I've already had 3 beers." I was like, "Holy shit, dude! It's been 20 minutes." Like, okay, fucking party
Hey
on,
man, it's a funeral. I came to get my drink on.
right? So then I would say like the service went fine, like everything went fine with the planning and everything. The death was hard to deal with, of course, but it was, it's different. I'm older, I'm an adult. I kind of knew it was gonna happen. It was a different experience. Um, I feel like I've made peace the with my
Idea
family
of
and
death.
just how they are, kind of thing. And I'm like, all right, this is just how you people are, and this is how I have to interact with you, and whatever. And then, so we went out to lunch after the funeral service. We had like a little lunch. The bill for the lunch came to 777 even. $777 even.
That's when was that? Was that last night?
So the lunch was last Saturday.
Mm,
Yeah, the lunch. So this was last Saturday.
gotcha.
Yeah, so it came to 777 even. And since then, I have been seeing 777s in like everywhere. I've been seeing 777 like with my job. Like someone will get back like
Ah,
$10,777 or something, and I'm just like,
you
man,
are you're on the solar current meme now.
Mhm.
777 relates to like gematria, and it was like creation and God and all that shit, right? And there's like a lot of shit behind it. Also a part of that synchro I find is the 77 current, because it's multiple iterations of 7. It's not just like one, it's like one, or it's like more than one, right? So 77, 777, and like so on and so forth, sort of deal. It's very much tied into like the divine light memes from what I've seen, like the divine flame. Gonna plug Torch God here for a minute. Like that's his number, is 77 or 777, like the divine flame, like the rebirth sort of thing, the fucking divine rebel archetype who tears down the Roman Empire, which is actually an occupying force at the time. Just saying.
Ooh, that's interesting. My grandfather has predicted the fall of the American Empire. With my grandfather's
Or
death, America will
maybe his
fall.
lunch is going to contribute to it.
Right.
I really thought the lunch was the thing I was most worried about because, especially so, my father-in-law Jim is a twin, and his brother Bob and his son Bobby are problematic.
Okay.
and they're drinkers and they're partiers, and I was just like, if a brawl breaks out in Maggie's, I'm just diving into the river. Like I'm running.
Whoop.
I'm running and I'm diving.
I feel like we got to get a whole bunch of stickers from like quotes from our show, and one of them is going to be, if a fight breaks out in Maggie's, I am just jumping in the fucking river.
You know what?
You're welcome.
In this pocket of Philly, if you said that, people would be like, yeah.
People would know. People would know.
So I'm telling you, Sophia, if you ever visit for any reason, just say that anywhere around here, and people would be like, oh yeah, you were born here, right? Yeah. Oh, what part of Philly are you from?
What was the restaurant?
Maggie's.
It's the restaurant is
Maggie's.
literally called Maggie's on the riverfront.
The waterfront.
Because
Maggie's on the
Oh.
waterfront.
on the waterfront. No, it is
Yeah.
riverfront.
Oh, is it
because
riverfront?
It's the Delaware River. Yes, it's
Okay.
Yeah.
I named my horse in Red Dead Redemption Terry Delaware, so that's interesting. It's a good name.
I like it.
Oh, Terry, don't die! Don't die, Terry! Oh,
I
God.
included Joseph R. Biden in my vows yesterday.
What?
The train station that was in Delaware that I would get off at to visit Rue was the Joseph R. Biden
I get off
train
at high
station.
speed rail as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like being railed, and it gets me off as well.
Yes, the rail that I get off on is the Joseph R. Biden.
Because originally I just wrote Wilmington, and then when I went back to edit it, I was like, oh, this would be great if I just actually included Joseph R. Biden.
It was funny.
They're really gonna make me vote for Joe Biden. Sorry. Off topic.
And then the day after the luncheon, we had a baptism to go to. So Rue's
Listening in a church.
Yeah.
My baby nieces, Kelsey Angela and Kelsey Angela and Colby Jacqueline were baptized last Sunday at St. Matt's. It was great. I got to see my uncle, my actual gay uncle from London. He came in because they're his great nieces. And it was really nice. The deacon who actually baptized them
It was cool. It was pretty cool.
was great. I know. I'm sure Jay had something like he wanted to say. I thought
No.
oh, God, I'm not used to talking. Sorry. No, the deacon was honestly, as someone who was raised in the Catholic faith and obviously being a pagan now and a very devout pagan, is the similarities are there, but obviously also the opposition is there. But this was honestly the witchiest priest. I know he wasn't a priest; he was a deacon, because he was not baptized, in the Catholic faith.
Until
Was the
later.
witchiest? Yes, a deacon
That's what a
is some.
deacon is.
That's what a deacon is, honey boo boo. A deacon is just a priest who was not baptized. He has to take his vows. He goes to seminary school. He devotes his life to Jesus. But he already had a family. And actually, deacons specifically, deacons cannot take the vow of celibacy.
Yeah.
They tend to already have children.
So deacons canonically fuck.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
That's another great shirt or like sticker quote. Deacons canonically fuck.
I love it.
Oh my god, we really need like a merchandising team just like scribbling shit
I
down
know.
furiously, like blessed fucking bee.
Katie's still working on the
canonically
bee. She's working on
There's
a
gotta be
drawing
a
for the
book right
bee.
here.
Oh god. Just we're gonna have a binder eventually. It's just gonna be like
I just need a notebook
stacked.
right here so I can scribble things
Oh,
down.
I know.
fuck.
We'll put one over there.
Deacon
yeah,
these nuts.
Deacon these.
No, but me the whole time. Of course, I'm checking out like the basin, like where they do the baptism at. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, there's this symbol. One looked like a bind rune on the fucking thing. It looked like it's the rune that
The
looks like
P
a
with the X.
Thorisas, I think, is the one that looks like the P.
Thorisas,
Thorisas.
it's
Yeah.
an angular, it's a triangle pointed to the right usually,
Yeah, it looks like a
with
P.
the stick that extends off of both sides of it. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's Wunyo, which is the P that has it with only the stick going down from the
That's
middle.
what it
I would have to check
was.
though.
Yeah, but anyway, and then it was like that rune, and I think it was like it looked like that rune with Isa, maybe like the ice rune, like that. And I don't
Isa,
know.
yeah, is the ice rune.
Yeah, but it was
I
cool. So I'm
think
like checking it
Gebo
out, but I was
is
like,
the
oh,
axe.
yeah, Gebo is actually,
Let me double
it was
check
like
this.
Gebo, Isa, and like one that looks like
Yeah, so
First one.
Thursaz is correct. It's got the line with the triangle in the middle.
yeah,
Gibo is the X,
the
Wunyo
X.
is the P. Oh damn, y'all, we know we're in Norse.
Look at us.
What the
I have this
fucking
I have
holy
this app on my
titty
phone
fuck.
that gives me my daily rune, like a daily rune reading.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's helping me remember. Like, I'll read it every day. I'm like, all right, this rune is associated with this because it's like a repetitive like that. So it's helping me remember. So if you
God.
don't have a
And when you
daily
learn your
rune
shit
app
and
on
you're
your
like,
phone, get one.
and then you learn your shit and you're like doing sigil working for someone else and you see your sigil like naturally accidentally develop an Othala and you're like, I don't want white supremacists to be like, is this ours? You fuck off
No.
and you don't get to use that one. Like, it sucks that I've had to be like careful about using Othala, which is literally just like inheritance or like
Yeah.
familial line.
Mm-hmm.
Cunts.
Speaking of that, the bullshit that went. Speaking of white supremacy, I guess the shit that went down at the Capitol yesterday while we're having our handfast.
What did I miss this time?
We just read about it
I
this
go
morning.
I go and get laid and there's a fucking another insurrection.
I'm
Jesus.
telling you,
Literally.
the queers
Check
can't
my
do
TikTok.
anything without someone fucking it up for us.
What did the fucking conservative fuckwads do this time?
So Rue can share because you were the one who found the article.
Please. Yes. So I was doing my harmless scrolling through TikTok this morning, and it was the Bikini Bottom News at Bikini Bottom News. Love you guys. It's how I get all my news.
What's
Informed
SpongeBob
me.
doing these days?
chilling, obviously. And they share videos, and there was 200. Um, it was an offshoot of the Proud Boys, Patriots First, yeah, something Patriot. They
Something
have
stupid.
acquired the term Patriot. So stupid. There was 200 of them that marched on the Capitol yesterday while we were exchanging our vows, like while our hand fasting was going on. 200 Proud Boys marched. Now they did not have weapons. They
No, I know.
learned.
Yeah,
They only had shields and flags. Um, but it was a Nazi rally, and they are the first American nationalist fascist society.
they
They are yeah.
they self-proclaim that they are American fascists. Like, they are literally like, we're American fascists, guys, and everyone's like, well, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
You see my face right now?
Yeah, I was like,
This is my surprised face.
right, exactly. Like, that was us this morning. I was like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, I haven't had coffee and I can't like deal.
Well, yeah, you know what they say. The only good fascist is a very dead fascist. So let's buy some 1911s and fucking dome them all. Just saying, homie.
Just
You
saying.
can't say that on Amazon. They're gonna
I
hire the
just
Pinkertons on
fucking
us.
did.
Come
You're
at
in
me.
Canada. We're in America.
Come at me, Bezos.
Come at me, Pinkertons. You can see my gun, my range shooting on the wall.
I know. It's kind of one of
Please.
the little things. It's like,
Your
Oh, I
video's not on,
bypassed.
so we can't see your.
Oh no. Here, you want to see? Actually, here. No, my vid is on, isn't my vid's not on.
it is on now. You know.
Oh, okay. On. Here we go.
Oh, well, you get to see my whole
Zoom.
house, guys.
Can
Look
I
at this, coming at
look?
you
You can see my
live.
whole coming at you live. I can't zoom.
I can't see Rue.
No, because
Can
I'm
you see the
using front
camera at all?
facing.
It says
Yeah.
unstable connection. It's on my end. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. It's fine.
But for the viewers, right at our front door, we have.
It's me. There's my front door. There's my work desk.
It's a tour.
So yes, please. I have an X on my license.
Oh, now I
I have
can
an
see
X
it.
on my passport. Come get me.
Oh wait, you can see the camera now, Sophia.
Yeah, I see it. I saw
Yeah,
the
target.
shot grouping.
Yeah, so that
I love my phone. This is why I love my phone. Because this camera is stunning.
yeah, this camera is a lot
Stunning.
way better than your webcam for sure.
But yeah, I don't think it's actually illegal to say shoot fascists because like canonically that's what we did in World War II.
Kind of
We
our whole
we
thing.
talk about that shit all the time. Yeah, like it's kind of hard baked into society, you know? Like
Just this morning, we were about to go into the mall because I wanted to get a chain for my rings. And I was telling Jay how I felt a lot of guilt because my grandmother couldn't be at the hand fasting. My grandmother, now she is technically not my blood grandmother, but she might as well be. I never knew my blood maternal grandmother, who I was named after. She raised me, literally. Her and my grandfather raised me. But I know she's basically bedridden, and I knew that the venue was very difficult to get to. But that I still felt guilt over not having my grandmother there. She lives in an addition to her house that her husband built for her. And that addition was built for her parents, who were survivors of the Holocaust. They were in the camps. They escaped and made it to America. I had a great uncle who was a Marine who was on the beaches killing Nazis. I am not that far removed from fascism wiping my people off this planet. I'm not getting emotional. This bullshit will not stand. Our people are actually growing. I just saw a Jewish family with 5 children today, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I was just like, our people are actually growing for the first time since the Holocaust. And all of my ancestors are like in me right now. We will not let fascism take over America. It will not happen.
I feel that.
Drop the mic.
I just it's bizarre to see like these white nationalist groups like just out in such full force. Because I feel like, I don't know, like in the 90s, early 2000s, they were quiet. It wasn't cool to be a fascist,
A Nazi.
a Nazi. But now it kind of is, so that's kind of unsettling.
Kitty.
She
Good
meowed, so I
vibes.
came over to see what she was up to, and I figured y'all could use a little more kitty in your life.
This is like the
Oh,
behind the scenes episode. Like y'all are really
I love
getting
this.
these glimpses of
Right?
our secret
Ah,
lives. Secret lives.
If your parents
my
ever
life,
found this episode,
The
my life
gasp.
is not that secret. Like I am a visible weirdo who does avant-garde fashion and witchcraft in Toronto, and also has a very unique voice and canonically cannot shut the fuck up. So uh, I I meet people, and so many people are like, "Oh, you're like that person I met over there that one time. I saw you walking down the street there." I'm like, "Yeah, you probably did. I exist as a human being."
That's fucking
literally.
great.
Literally. We were what was it? Was it just in Walmart this morning? Like we were ducking and weaving and like in between people because
Mm.
I couldn't even buy a chain at Walmart because they didn't have a jewelry associate anymore to open the cases. Fuck you. All right, that's all I'm
They were
gonna
like,
say.
you have to,
Um,
yeah. So they don't have
stand
anyone
in line
standing
at
there.
customer service.
Yeah, they said you have to go stand in this long ass line at customer service to ask a Walmart attendant to go over to the jewelry counter to unlock it for you. And we said, I'll buy it online.
just,
Bye bye.
I was gonna say,
Overstock.com.
just don't buy there
Yeah.
anymore. Fuck them.
I was just like,
We
dude.
rarely go in there. We were at the mall
Yeah.
next to the Walmart, and I was like, we
We
had
couldn't
no
find
luck
anything in the
finding.
mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss the good old mall.
Yeah.
No, but there was actually I will say I am a mall rat. I am a mall rat 1,000,000%. I will always be a mall rat. We might just open our store in the mall because honestly, leasing space is cheap.
Malls
And it's
are,
like foot traffic. Like, yes,
Um,
obviously you don't want to just draw anybody into an occult shop, but the nice thing with a mall store is you just keep everything
can I
behind.
make a suggestion
mm,
for that
Course.
occult shop that
yeah.
most occult shops do? And if you do, it'll be a winning ticket.
Mm,
Make it a social hangout space as well.
that is
I'm
the goal.
so sick of occult shops where you just come in and get a fucking book and leave.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Exactly.
It's going to
if
be a
there was an
cafe.
occult shop where I could sit down and have a coffee, yeah, perfect. Holy shit, that was what I was about to say. But I have a fucking cup of coffee, talk to other practitioners, and maybe bounce some ideas off of people who have a fucking idea what they're talking about. I would go there
Let me
constantly.
tell you, let me paint you a picture. So, we're taking a little honeymoon. We have off this coming week. Monday and Tuesday, we are going to be in Atlantic City, which is where you gamble. We're feeling lucky. We've got some money set aside to play around with, and hopefully increase that. We're going to be doing a shit ton of money magic before we head out there. And
Hit me up with the after episode for some magic on that. I won't put it on the episode, but I got some shit for you.
sounds like a plan. But anyway, I would love to just win enough money to be like, oh my god, here's my business startup. But let me paint you a picture of like really what I want in a cult shop is that I would love to be able to either lease or buy a cafe, like something already set up, like a coffee shop cafe. Sell really light baked goods, food items, coffee, tea, water,
Mhm.
maybe some juices, right? And then I would like to have a little nook of like a library section. So like a section where like you can kind of just read through, like it would be my own personal collection of occult books, and you just kind of read through them if you need to read anything. And then you have wares, things that you want to sell, people from like the local areas. Like I would reach out to all of
Mhm.
our vendors from Pagan Pride and be like, do you want to sell things in my shop? And it would be like my friend Jim's brand stuff and like Betwixt Occult Supplies brand stuff, and it would
Mhm.
just be this very social kind of
Which
space.
wise brand stuff.
So
Ideally,
what
I
would
would like it
also
to
do
have a
you really
basement
well?
for like I could put some tables down there. It could be like a social kind of
Mhm.
space. That's my
Yeah,
vision.
like being able to read those books before purchasing them would
Mm-hmm.
be phenomenal. Because, like, there's a place out here in Toronto. It's the oldest queer bookstore in the world.
Mm.
It's called the Glad Day Bookshop. You've probably heard about it. It's fucking old. Um, that's its whole MO. Is it's a place for queer people to come together to socialize. It has alcohol, but it's not alcohol centric. They
Hmm.
have tons of like coffee and food, and like they do poetry nights there, and they do dance nights there, and they do like specialized interest groups there, right? And like you can just go there when there's not an event happening, because the events happen during the evening or like on the weekends at like certain times, and they'll have like a whole like chalk wall with like their schedule out on it. It rules. And you can like fucking just read some books and drink some coffee and like buy the book and leave with it. And like it's the coolest, nice chill space for queer people to go that isn't like centered around party culture and hookup culture. I fucking love the Glad Day Bookshop. And
Yeah.
having like a witch equivalent, oh, fucking chef's kiss, homie. You
Hmm.
read my goddamn mind.
It's my goal. Like it's literally my dream. It is my fucking dream. And I have
Hey, hon, can
wow.
I interrupt? No one is monitoring chat. I
I'm
can't have
looking at
chat.
the chat. I can see
Oh,
chat.
are you? Okay.
Mm.
I didn't. Sorry.
We only
I
have one
didn't know if
viewer
you
right
could
now.
Something going
Yeah.
on in
Okay.
it?
Yeah. No, there's really
No,
nothing happening.
I normally monitor it when I'm
Mm.
setting up my computer,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I'm like, I can't monitor it because I'm on my phone.
Streamlabs
And
What
is
up,
pretty
viewer?
cool that once you click the go live button, it auto pops out the chat window for your stream, so you don't have to have it open on Twitch at the same time,
you,
right? Technology.
technology, I love it. I'm getting used to doing this on the phone. You can tell.
But yeah, that's really my dream, my goal, and I have like through our South Street Circle group, we have been attracting a lot of people who are interested in helping to build that idea out because we're all like
Fucking
we
rules.
yeah, like Katie's partner Barbara was like, I would love to have a witchy coffee
Mhm.
shop as a business, and I was
Which they're
like,
cute as fuck, by the way. I see their photos.
yes.
Cute as fuck.
I love them together, and so if y'all are listening, or if you listen to this at some point, I love you two together. So looking at
Miss you,
you,
Katie. Message me.
you are good for each other. Anyway,
Mhm.
And actually, so Alex, who was my makeup artist, she did these nails, and she did my hair and my makeup, and she was amazing, and she was stunning, and she is beautiful, and she is single, and she is gorgeous. And I'm just promoting, hi Alex, honey, boo boo, I love you. And she literally came to us at Beltane and said, I want to go into business with you. And I'm like, join the club, honey. She's like, let me get my husband, my business partner over here for you. And because she wants to start an occult coffee bookshop where we have somebody who does Reiki, we have somebody who does readings, we have someone
we
to
have everyone.
fill every single niche of a witch occult, and we have a name. This is early access. Honey, you say it. Your voice
It
sounds better.
it popped into my mind the other day because I'm like, you're combining all these things, so it's not just going to be like Betwixt occult supply shop, right? Like that's not what it really would be. It would be the Keystone Pagan Temple,
Oh, what? 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 What?
right? That would be the name, like the
So the
Keystone,
neighborhood we live in is
Pennsylvania
Keystone.
is called
Yeah,
Oh shit.
Keystone
Okay,
State.
okay.
Keystone State.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Obviously, we're all pagans.
Mm-hmm.
And temple, yes, temple.
And I know that some people really don't identify with the term pagan. Like a lot of occultists are just like, I'm not a pagan and this and that. I feel you. I hear you 1000%. But I just think I kind of use it as like queer as like an umbrella term. And I kind of use pagan as sort of my personal umbrella term for like all the weird witchies, occulty stuff that falls under that. So that's just my personal thing. But that's why I think Keystone Pagan Temple would be like a really cool name or something like that.
And for me, Keystone Pagan Temple, like Keystone, as I said, we live in the Keystone State. We specifically live in the Keystone neighborhood of Philadelphia.
Mm.
Pagan, yes, it is a generic word, but if you read any of my bios online, I identify as a pagan. Paganism makes the most sense in my brain, and it is the faith that I have found that makes the most sense to me. I know not everybody else gets that, And then temple, obviously temple, if you look up the definition of temple is just a place of worship. And any place where people gather and share information, share ideas, that is a temple. And it just this idea of our
You know
our
what? I'm
circle is
curious. What if we just drop the pagan out? Keystone Temple. You know what I mean?
because then you might have, honestly, including the pagan signifies.
Maybe like
Yeah,
kind of
you're going to scare off
advertises.
all the organized religion people, which is probably a good idea because to make a space like that, it kind of does need to be a little exclusive, right?
So keep the pagan
Exactly.
in there then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want, it's 3. I like
APT.
Keystone Pagan Temple. It's a temple. It's 3 layers.
Oh
it's
yeah, I like that.
like that's and it's like Keystone
So-
Pagan KPT. That's a drug.
APT.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Is that a drug?
Two things. If you name it Pagan Temple, you're gonna have to rely a little bit more on word of mouth advertising to get people to come in there, because some
Which is
people
kind of what I
are
want.
naturally going to think, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I would.
I don't want everybody finding it. I want the people, our circle has grown so much
By word of mouth.
organically by word of mouth, just through, and we have our little newsletter, and it's grown so organically, and
I wonder how much
just
the
really
podcast helps with that.
With South Street
a lot.
Circle? I'm not sure. I think the podcast might help
Do you-
South Street Circle more than South Street Circle podcast. I'm not sure. Because
That's
we
what I
don't
was
have a
saying. I
huge
think
reach.
Wouldn't the podcast help it? Yeah.
Honestly, it's all the same. I'm realizing that everything that I do is all the same. Like, everything has the same goal, the same mission behind it. Like, Pagan Pride, South Street Circle, Witches Betwixt, Betwixt Occult Supplies, Keystone Pagan Temple. It's all the same thing that I'm
Yeah.
trying to build,
Yeah.
you know, and it all kind of just
So-
builds and supports each other, you know?
That's interesting, because I actually did have something I was gonna announce on the podcast. Not like announce because it's still in the works,
Mm.
but I was gonna talk about it because I have plans for stuff coming up in the future. But I still kind of want to keep talking about this first. So just poke me if I ADHD out of it and remind me to mention what my future plans for my art is gonna be, because
Well, I
that'll
mean,
be what
just
prompts me to remember it.
tell me about it now, because I'm very interested.
Let's tease it. We could tease it. Just go back to talking about the temple for a second.
But yeah, that's just that's really just what I want to build in the temple, and I want it to be a good hangout spot for just the thing is too is that yes, it's Keystone Pagan Temple. Obviously, I want to draw in occultists and sorcerers. I want to draw in those people. But also, I would love to have a nice little area with just some tables. Hey, you guys have a D&D group, but you don't have a place to play. Hang out.
Yeah.
Or oh, you guys want to play Magic Gathering? You need big table space for that. Those games can get crazy. I know, and so come play at our shop. And I just kind of wanted to just be this space where kind of anyone can come. Maybe we have regular customers that just like our coffee. They're not pagans themselves. They just really like our coffee. Sure, that's great. But that sets that good intention. Oh, I get this really good coffee from those at the pagan temple. They're really cool people. They're very nice. And I think that just helps build that connections within the communities of different faiths and different religions. And it just really makes people understand we're all here doing the same thing. We're all just living.
Speaking of which, if you need help with the coffee selection, let me know. I used to work in the coffee industry.
Mm.
I actually used to recondition green coffee and
Really?
grade it so that I could, yes, yeah, it used to be my job before
Wow.
NDA stuff happened. But I used to be able to recondition damaged coffee beans and sort out high quality beans from bad quality beans in the pre-roast cycle. So I know a thing or 20 about coffee.
That sounds great. Yeah, I am down
yeah.
for. I've just realized that I've dedicated my life to building community, to building pagan community and helping build that, right? And I realized yesterday, especially with the hand fasting, we'd planned the date out well in advance, but things are quiet, and just right before, a couple days before, for 3-4 days before. Everyone's looking at the weather. I just start to get the messages start flowing. Hey, we're gonna bring drinks. Like everyone brought a dish. Like we didn't have a caterer. We like this was like the way we put it together. The community built this hand fasting. The community that I helped build and connect and form connections to helped build this hand fasting. So the venue that we had was a friend's farm. She's like in the pagan community, part of the Urglava, Pennsylvania Dutch heathenry tradition out here, and she's like super
Oh
cool
yeah.
with the guy Rob who used to run Pagan Pride. So, and we were at their barbecue and we were like, "Hey, can we have it here?" And she was like, "Yeah." So the venue, we didn't have to like pay for thousands of dollars for a venue. And then like we didn't have, and I was like, "Well, catering." I was like, "Well, most pagan events, most rituals are potluck." So I'm like, "Bring a dish." And so, and I know that a lot of us don't have money, so I was like, I really don't want money or gifts, or you don't have to. So I was like, just bring a dish. If you want to eat, bring a dish. And then we supplied drinks, and
Yeah.
our other friends helped supply us drinks, and it just, every piece of it just came together naturally because of the community that we had built around it. And it was really beautiful the way it came together. And I kind of want
Nice.
to expand on that into the greater pagan community, like realizing like you can just come together and do something. Like if the community needs something, just come together and make it happen.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna hit you with my news then. Do me a favor when you're making that space and make it playable for concert and performing artists.
Oh yeah, like a nice little cozy performance spot.
Have like a microphone PA set up with like a good sound system and a good microphone, so it's not one of those shitty breathy ones. And then
I hear piano.
Rue really wants a piano.
I want a piano. I want a piano. I want a piano.
So-
I want a piano. I don't want a baby grand. I just want a piano.
So here's what I'm
That is all.
planning on getting into.
Subscribe to our podcast.
The art bug keeps biting me so fucking hard. Like every time I put it off, I'm like, I'll be okay. I'm not like that. I'm not like one of those people who grew up making art. I'm not like super good at it. And then it comes back and it's like, no, you're actually really good. And you just fucking don't give yourself any credit for it.
I've been
Shit,
getting
like,
that way about singing.
well, stop. Yeah, so that's actually one of the things I actually specifically planned on doing. I'm going to be taking singing lessons after I'm done my
Oh.
next show call, and
Very
I'm going to
nice.
be making a band.
A band. What's
Oh
up?
my
Yeah.
God, stop.
We've been
joking
fucking
about
talking
making a
about
band.
that.
No, for real, because I know like a million people out here now. Like my brain's exaggerating it, but I at least remember like a million people out
It's
here
like
now.
5. You're like, I know a million
do-
people.
It's a lot more than 5
Well, yeah,
actually.
that's good.
Let me just think.
I get like that sometimes. I'm like, there's like 5 people in a room. I'm like, there's like 10,000 people in this room right now.
No, I'm like up to 8 or 9 now.
Wow.
At that point already.
That's like 10
just thinking
million
about people I
people.
know who actually like make shit out here.
Which is a
Yeah, I
billion
know,
people.
right? Anyways, so I'm gonna be trying to do vocal practice to get into singing proper, and like maybe pick up my saxophone again, just like get a saxophone and get into playing. Also gonna be doing my
Saxophone.
photography.
I didn't take you for a saxophone player. That's interesting.
I can play alto sax. I could still pick one up and pretty much by memory play Moon Dance.
Did you ever watch Parks and Rec? Did you ever watch
Sorry, go ahead.
Parks and Rec? Did you ever watch that show? Sophia?
No.
No, you never watched it. But anyway, it's like one of the guys in the character. He has this alter ego, Duke Silver, and he plays in another town. He plays saxophone in another town. He's like, I'm Duke Silver, and he's like real suave and shit. And it just reminds me of that. Like he plays the saxophone and like,
Is that guy
like, do you have like a
who's
Duke Silver alter
Don't
ego?
worry, I have a. Is that the guy who has the card? And he's like, "Don't worry, I have a license for this." And the
Yes,
card
Ron
says, "I can do what
Swanson.
I want."
Yeah, the guy with the mustache.
I'm
yeah.
actually very similar to him in personality
I
type
know.
when like it comes to certain things. Like when I walk into a tool store and I look like that bubbly chick, and the guy's like, "Can I help you find anything?" Like my immediate reaction is to always want to say, "I know more than you." Because like I did carpentry for 10 years.
Right.
I know my shit, homie. I have built people's fucking houses and mansions. I've worked on schools and hospitals. I know how to do a little grout. Thank you. And I know where to find it. I don't need your advice on how to fucking do it.
Ron Swanson.
I'm like, out of the two of us, I have actually performed the task that I am here to purchase the goods to do. Thank you. But also, I don't get that way because like most building associates are actually really helpful and
They
they're
are,
just trying to
yeah.
help you find their shit. It's just the
Mhm.
guys who think that they know more than
Mm.
you, who are like, oh no, you don't want that, you want this. It's like, sir, I am a carpenter. I know what I fucking want. I don't want the claw hammer. I want the hatchet hammer, and I know exactly why I want it. Thank you.
Like, I'm here for
You
a
know?
very specific reason. Thank you. Good day.
Mm-hmm. Rue, you just nod in there.
Just not.
I, as someone who has worked in the automotive industry, and has been around cars my
And
entire
men
fucking
in their
life.
cars.
People talking to you
The
like you don't
men
know shit about
and
it.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I know how to pop my trunk. Pop my trunk. Look, I just messed up. That's my work. I know how to pop my hood. I know how to check my oil. I know how to change a tire. Do I like changing my own tire? No. That's why I pay for roadside assistance.
Right.
Shit,
But
I
I
used to
know
change
the
my own oil.
basics. Right. I could. I know I could. I know I could literally take a car apart and put it back together because they have manuals for that shit. And that's how my neurodivergent brain works is I know I have been driving so much and I know my car so well. And everyone says you drive like a NASCAR driver. And it's because I know my car that well and I know what my car can do and I know what my car can't do. And it's really mechanics are very it's simple if you learn it.
Mm.
But a lot of it's just not something that us with the titties are supposed to know. And it's
I loved the titty grab. That was the best highlight of. So if you're just an audio only listener, it may be worth it to watch on YouTube because hilarious.
And
You get a free
this
show.
dress renders me incapable. This dress renders me incapable of doing physical activity, as you can see.
with the nails, I'm gonna have nails on forever because this is just hello, hi, girlfriend. It's gay.
Look at
It's
how
just gay
fucking
culture
long
now.
these are. Look at how fucking long these are. Oh god, your fucking eyes out with it. And people are like, you can't fight with that. Bitch, look at me. I will make a full fist with that and I will knock you the fuck out.
It's like you can't fight
Yeah.
with that. You just clock them. Just
Look,
lay
I
them
walk
flat
No,
out.
I am a
around so I
sir,
can
I will have
swerve,
you know
but-
I'm a black belt in Taekwondo and I can palm strike your skull out of existence.
You can't fight like that. What?
Just break their nose instantly.
Right.
Oh fuck, what?
You were saying?
I have 4 weapons on my hands. Like men don't.
Well,
I
I'm a
can
black
open
belt in
a
Taekwondo,
can.
and I'll have you know that I would never use these fuckers in combat. Let's be real. Like, even if you're trying to do
You're
a
just gonna
swan
break your nail
technique,
off,
which is
yeah.
like straightforward, you're actually more likely to injure your nail and rip your nail bed off than to actually do it in any way. Even if you have the really sharp ones, the most you could do is deliver a sharp nail to a vital spot like the eye. Will do some
So
shit,
you
especially if you got
scratch,
the
not
really
gouge.
well. No. If you got the really pointy ones, right? Straight in is your only option because it would have a puncture effect, but you don't want to do it to anything hard because you really do have the capability of destroying and removing the nail bed. So if you're in a self-defense situation, you have long, pointy, sharp nails, gouge their eyes out. You will absolutely take their eye out and your nail will be fine. Yes. Don't go for the meaty parts of the body because you will lose that nail. You will lose that nail and you will be bleeding and you will not be fighting back and it will suck. So
Correct.
when in doubt, palm strike like this. Look at my hand. You see how it's flat? You roll those top fingers back. You strike with the flat surface here with the palm. It's like move back like that. There's no wrist action to like injure. You can actually do more damage with a palm strike to a hard part of the body than you can with a fist. And martial artists are taught that you strike the soft parts of the body like a stomach with a fist, and you strike the hard parts like a skull with your palm.
That makes more
That's how you don't
sense.
injure yourself and you deliver the maximum force. This has been self-defense with Sophia.
That's interesting because your fingers are very bony. So like, if you're hitting someone's head,
Mhm.
like that's gonna hurt your
You have
fingers.
potentiality to break your
But
hand.
like,
Unless you have really like trained
Yeah.
your knuckles. Like, look at how fucking big my knuckles are. Hang on, I'm
Right.
trying to. Like, they're like, I could knock. I have like absolutely bodied people with those knuckles before.
And I have arthritis, so no, I won't be
right.
punching anyone.
I'm definitely not a fighter.
I punch concrete
I
to
kick.
keep up with these.
I
Like,
believe
seriously,
it.
I punch concrete.
Hardcore.
Again, arthritis.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Hands
like
matter.
office worker. Arthritis. Too much
Hands are my
computer.
babies.
I'm like anime character. I'm gonna flip the knife and palm strike and fucking kill God.
One punch.
Oh God.
One
Eric.
punch woman.
What was it I said last night? Bimbo in the sheets, JRPG character in the in the streets.
I like that. That's good. That's fantastic.
God damn it.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I'm getting into my art shit, and I'm gonna absolutely end up in a band. I will not die happy if I did not end up in a band. I don't even care if we're famous. I care that we're
You're making
punk or
music.
metal as fuck. Okay, that we're making music, that we're saying fuck the man and fuck white supremacy and fuck settler colonial society, and we tour and play in low bar venues until people are like, oh, have you heard of that band? They're like the local legend. And then all of a sudden you like, your shit happens and you're playing fucking music everywhere. And then suddenly you're like,
And then people will call
nah,
you
fuck it, God.
sellouts for going mainstream.
Or nothing
and
ever happens and you're just having the experience of playing in a band and traveling. And that is great too,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yes.
I'm not somebody who needs to blow the fuck up to have satisfaction with what I'm doing. Like the podcast, I definitely wanted to be on the podcast for a hot minute. You know what I mean? But like, us not blowing up is probably the healthiest thing that could have happened for me with this.
I think I agree with you, and I think it's something that I have struggled with a long time with the podcast because we've been going for a while. I see other podcasts that have existed for a shorter time than ours have, and they have more listeners, more downloads, more sponsors, more this, more that.
Fuck
A
'em.
lot of it,
They're deliberately making a product, right? We're making art. We're doing something
Right.
that pleases us as content creators. They're making something to sell,
Yeah.
right?
And like, I think I'd rather,
Difference.
yeah, I think I'd rather like open up ad space on this podcast to like people in the community. Like, hey, are you running an event that you want to promote? You got a blog or, you know, a Discord server, anything that you want to promote, you know, then I would kind of do that. But like, I just feel weird just being like any old ad, any old sponsor. And like, sometimes I'm like, oh man, you know, we should be making money hand over fist. But like, honestly, other witchy podcasts are not really making money hand over
You know
fist
what?
either. They're making they're making enough to support their hosting costs, which we are not. But I don't know. I think I'm taking a
I
different
feel like
approach
it'll
to
all
it
come
now.
full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Because like with the Keystone Pagan Temple.
Right, such a good idea. I
yeah,
hope
see, I
no
could
one
remember
steals it. Don't steal my idea. Or if you do,
Well, first off,
cut me
even
in.
if they did, it doesn't matter. It
As
doesn't
long as you
matter
keep the principle of
because
the idea.
that's like saying I hope somebody doesn't steal the idea of a restaurant where I cook food for other people and they come in to eat.
Right.
And because I want everybody to come to eat at my restaurant and I don't want other restaurants. You know, this idea is so good. You could have
Really?
multiple of these fuckers
It's just the
across
name.
cities in different cities. Yeah,
It's
don't steal
really.
the name. That would
I
be a
just don't
real
want
dick
anyone to
move.
steal the name. Steal the idea. Like, that's fine. Just don't steal my name.
Well, you know, actually, because we have recorded here and you've shown that you're planning on doing stuff with, you would actually have grounds to say that,
This
like, hey,
is-
somebody
yes.
stole this from us.
That's
Yeah,
good.
so
That's why I said
fuck 'em.
copyright.
Copyright. Right, me.
Copyright LLC
Just-
Central Media.
Just put it in the show notes, you know, to be like Philly Pagan or whatever. Keystone
Well,
Pagan
I would
Temple
just be
is
like this.
copyright.
I always say this too. It's like, do you really want to piss off a witch?
I
You know,
went-
other witches.
As I went to
Other
grab
witches take that bait all
I
the
know
goddamn
other
time.
witches
That's the
take that
problem.
as like a thing, and oh god,
They're like,
people
let's
piss me off.
go, bitch, witch war. And I'm like,
Ugh.
really? Calm down. I have a
I
life.
know.
I don't want to do this.
Seriously, like that's what it comes to. Like I have better things to do than wage witch wars with people. I've never been in one, and I really have no desire to ever be in one.
I don't want to have a witch bitch fight with anybody. It's different. Even people who do me serious harm, I would rather just tell them to their faces
Just
why
to
they're
fuck
an
off.
asshole
Mhm.
and leave. Or like just say, no, not doing this no more, you know?
Cut that
I'm not gonna
connection.
throw shit at them. What the fuck? Who I throw shit at is like people who really, really, really deserve.
Yeah.
Like if I would not go kick their ass physically
You won't kick
and
their ass
only be held
magically.
back because it's illegal in society,
Yeah.
I will not go assault somebody magically because it's the equivalent to me, right? Like I remember the last guy that I actually threw on, I should not disclose who it was, but he had been doing shit for years
Mm.
to get what he got. And I didn't even hit him that hard, right?
Mm. Mm.
So like I don't know, I ain't that petty witch, you know?
Yeah.
I am, although like
You can
I
put
feel
energy
like
doing a
people
lot of
really
other
get
things.
I put energy into my words, so if they throw at me, they fuck themselves.
Boing.
Speaking of words have power, and I ran to my desk to grab this. This was a wedding present from probably two of the most, other than my husband, the most important people in my life, Lexa and Vincent. This is actually a pure rhodonite egg. And eggs have kind of become of significant importance to me. And if you read my anti-burnout spell in the summer edition of the newsletter, we'll put that in the bio.
Yeah, I'll put that in there.
Whenever that, yeah. I have learned to flip the script, and I always associated eggs with fertility. And now I associate eggs with life.
Snakes.
Yeah.
Also that.
Well, yeah, that too. Really, it's life. Everything comes from an egg. Snakes come from eggs. We come from eggs.
I had to put a cosmic egg reference in there, you know. I couldn't
Of
not.
course.
Exactly, the cosmic egg. And finding the symbolism has been very helpful in my magical journey. And this is very, very thoughtful gift that I wanted to share on the podcast. And if you watch live on twitchtv.com, listen to me, I'm a fucking boomer.
I was like, hello,
Yeah,
boomer.
fucking
How are
boomer.
you?
Beautiful Crystal.
Yeah, watch them on the Twitch TV over there on the fucking internet there.
Support us on the internet.com. Thank you.
All right, you lost in the sauce, Rue. Get out of it.
Go watch us at the internet or something.
Go watch us on the internet.
I make the
know
lost
where
in
to
the sauce
find
joke
us.
because Rue changed how they spell their name to the sauce,
Yes.
ROUX. So I make sauce
Shit.
jokes now.
We were watching Guys Grocery Games, and because we leave like subtitles on, and he was like, "Oh, this guy was like, I'm gonna make a roux," and I was like, and it was spelled ROUX, and I was like, imagine, like, how many people you'd piss off
The one who gave me the idea.
if you change the spelling of roux to ROUX. Like you're at Starbucks, like, oh, like, what do we write on the cup? Oh, for roux, and they're like, oh, are you? No, ROUX. Like. Just
how non-binary of me.
It just made me laugh. And so then the spelling got all changed.
Literally why yep. So my online moniker is I'm changing all my online monikers to ROUX.
And now you need to go listen to like Bulletproof.
Yes.
And
for like 1,000 times on repeat.
What's that one? In for the Kill?
Yeah, that was the other one.
Going in for the kill. Yeah. That is so not in my singing octave to do. I am much more in the punk / metal. Yeah, like I can fucking growl. Just saying.
Well,
That was an organic
we'll
one. You got it
use
for
your
free here ahead of time.
we'll use your band's music for like we'll like promote your band's music and shit once it's all
Gonna
warmed
be
up.
hard as fuck. Gonna
I'm
be
in.
hard as fuck, but it's gonna just rip.
Rip and tear.
She's gonna be giving her.
I'm ready.
I'm
I'll be your
so ready.
producer. No.
You ain't. It's gonna fucking just give you a good one.
I'm ready.
Oh man.
But we're at like a couple minutes over an hour. Thank you for anyone who did pop in. It's Mother's Day here. I know a lot of our viewers are in the US, so I don't know if anyone is out with moms or people who are like
maybe
mothers
you hate
to
your
them.
parents and you're conflicted about that too. It's okay.
Or if like you look up to an older queer and you're like my mom. That's cool. Love your mom.
I would like to say, as I just found, just TIL from this morning, Mother's Day was actually founded by a Philadelphian woman, and it was a form of activism for women, to get women the recognition that they deserved. And I am lucky enough to have two moms, and I love my mommies very much, and I got wonderful pictures with them yesterday at my wedding. My hand fasting wouldn't have been possible without them. So I love my mommies. Thank you, mommies.
And
Because I know
then,
she does listen sometimes.
and right after they made Mother's Day, the fathers said, "Was."
Literally.
When was
That's why we have Juneteenth now.
Well, oh my gosh, no. Juneteenth is just I like it,
I
but
know,
it's a whole
bullshit.
fucking thing. They were like, "Hey, stop killing us," and they were like, "What about a holiday?"
That's not all you'll have off.
Like, how does...
No. It's like Pawn Stars. I'm gonna need you to stop killing us. Best I can do is a holiday.
Exactly. Best I could do is a holiday, and everyone was like, fuck it, I guess. I don't know. Fuck you. We're gonna burn it down."
No, yeah, I am asking for you to not kill us. The best I can do is a national holiday. Yeah,
that most
let's
people
make a
won't
meme
get
out of
off
that,
for
I swear to
anyway.
God. Yeah,
But yes, for this
that's
Mother's
exactly
Day,
what Canada did with Truth and Reconciliation. I'm gonna fucking say that for a second. They're like, hey, we found that genocide we pretended didn't happen with all the buried kids under the reservation school, or not reservation, residential schools. That we pretended didn't happen and fucking gaslit you about for like fucking years and years and years. And like they only closed in 1996. The last one, that was not that long ago. I was 7 fucking years old. Just saying, bud.
correct.
That shit was still something you could get scooped for when I was like a kid. If you were in those communities, just be aware of that, right? And then they turn around and say, "Okay, we'll give you a holiday for it, bud." And they make Truth and Reconciliation Day proceed to not make it a statutory holiday, so all the indigenous people who it's for have to go to work, while the white people who are getting to make fucking like hand waving gestures about it get the day off of their business to go fucking hang out in like
same thing with Juneteenth. It's
where was
like
Justin Trudeau? No, like Justin Trudeau literally was on like a fucking like a beach vacation day somewhere when that was going down, right? Like they just could not give less of a fuck, and then like do a holiday to slap you in the face about it and make it so you don't even get time off for the day that's supposed to recognize like the shit that you went through.
And you're like, oh wow, well fuck you. Thanks, fuck you.
Yeah, they're assholes.
But on
and
this,
they treat indigenous people like shit.
Yes. But hopefully we can build a better future. Hopefully we're working toward that rather than the alternative. But on this Mother's Day, yes,
we all talked at the same
we all did.
I just went in really close and said, "We'll see."
We'll see.
I would just like to take this moment that I just remembered when they called us Generation Wine because we were Generation Y, and then that's why we had to change to millennials. And I'm like, I am not a millennial. I was born in 1990. I really more classify as an older millennial / younger Gen X. Fuck you.
I guess they didn't want to call us the whining generation. I guess they didn't want to call us the whining generation because then we would have just become alcoholics.
Right. Which.
See, I can make the pun come full circle.
Full circle. But for anyone in the US, Mother's Day today, go out, love your mother. And all of our mothers are Mother Earth. So go clean up a park or something, or your block or wherever. Love your mother. That's my little sign off.
Blow
Anyone
up a pipeline.
or blow
Guillotine
up
a
a
corporate
pipeline.
executive who's like.
Strap
Let
yourself
me
to
be
a
clear. This
tree.
is satire. This is satire. Guillotine a corporate executive who's like contributing to massive amounts of global warming. Do something to
100%.
care for your mother today. And
Yes.
Earth is your mother.
Down your local Vanguard office.
Ooh.
Give land back to indigenous people. Like literally buy property
And give it to
and
them.
give ownership of it back to the indigenous. It's actually just something you can do if you have money too. And the government can't like then take it away from them
This was a
because they
private
have it
sale.
under the same agreement that you do. Huh. Yeah, that's just things that rich people with money can do to make the world a better fucking place. Anyways, I'll stop
So,
preaching.
if you can influence the rich people with money to do that, that would be an act of kindness toward your mother, Gaia. So,
Yeah.
love your
Yeah.
mother.
So, yeah, contribute to Earth and buy some indigenous people their land back today.
Absolutely. With that, we're gonna sign off, and we will see you all, maybe next week.
Or just overthrow the government.
I am unsure. Maybe next week, probably the week
Wow.
after. But
Yes.
with that, we will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.